Are we witnessing the final days? For ages, people have pondered whether the signs foretold in sacred writings might soon manifest in our world. In this moment, it feels more imminent than ever. Conflicts erupt across lands, hunger ensnares communities, diseases spread among the masses, and mortality looms large. Might these be the precursors to a profound revelation, the unveiling of seals spoken of in the prophetic visions? Imagine 4 horsemen galloping through history, each bringing a storm that shakes civilization. White horses symbolize deception, red horses represent war, black horses represent famine, and pale horses represent death. These figures in sacred texts are solemn reminders to awaken, stay vigilant, and seek truth in chaos. Are we just observers, or are we called to act? What does true belief look like in fear, lack, and sorrow? We'll explore the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse's mysteries and how they apply to your life in this video. Stay with us, as what you will discover may change everything. Have you ever contemplated the world's wonders in silence? The news reports conflicts in distant places, financial systems on the brink, diseases spreading rapidly, and nature unleashing its fury unexpectedly. One may wonder if our experiences have a greater purpose when overwhelmed. Could these events be planned? Could they be woven into a grand tapestry, a story from the sacred scriptures? The book of Revelation unfolds a tapestry of mystery and wonder, revealing visions many believe foretell the end times. It describes omens that will end human history, which resonate as we observe the world today. War, famine, plagues, and death. Are these not our trials and tribulations? Revelation is more than a foretelling event. It calls us to vigilance and prepares spirits for the journey ahead. I stand on the edge of a vast sea, watching a tempest form in the distance. Waves start out calm and peaceful. However, as winds increase, the waters become tumultuous and erratic. Revelation describes the end times as a series of intensifying events that lead to global chaos. Despite the storm, renewal is possible. Storms cleanse the land like our trials. These challenges mold us into individuals who are stronger, more resilient, and possess a profound connection to the divine. The relevance of ancient prophecies today. Some may dismiss them as relics of the past with no current relevance. Humanity has remained remarkably consistent throughout history. Our struggles, worries, and goals mirror those of our ancestors. Like us, they faced battles, scarcity, and afflictions. We are distinguished by the vastness and speed of these trials. Technology connects us in ways we never imagined, but it also magnifies our global struggles. Conflict in one region can ripple across continents. A virus emerges in a remote village and travels the world in weeks. In this extraordinary time, we are connected in ways never before, but we are also vulnerable. This gently reminds us that these signs are meant to awaken us, not frighten us. They wake us up from complacency and make us reflect on our lives. Is our path intentional? Are our actions consistent with our beliefs? Are we just wandering, engulfed in life's daily distractions? The sacred text portrays the end of times as a narrative of revelation, revealing our genuine identities and values. Co-values. Newsworthy conflicts. These aren't just territorial or wealth disputes. They reveal deep spiritual divisions. Hatred, greed, and pride fuel fierce conflicts that divide nations and communities during times of turmoil. Through the chaos of war, stories of bravery and kindness emerge. Ordinary people sacrificing all for others to repair what has been broken. These acts of kindness illuminate even the darkest corners of our world. Famine World is a poignant reminder of the challenges facing our world. The challenges in our world extend beyond the scarcity of food, encompassing broken systems and misguided priorities. We must ask, what kind of community are we building in a world where many go hungry and others waste plenty? Famine forces us to confront inequality, justice, and our global caregiving duties. It urges us to seriously consider how we use our resources and ensure that everyone is included and cared for. Then comes forth the enormous equalizer. The shadow of death reminds us of our mortal fate during pandemics, natural disasters, and other disasters. It dispels illusions of control and compels us to understand that death is not the end of the story, but rather the beginning of a greater journey beyond Earth. We can find peace in uncertainty and resilience in challenges by adopting this perspective. The signs of the times are depressing. Let us see them as calls to awaken, expand, and deepen our connection to the sacred. This preparation prepares us for both the trials ahead and the hope of renewal afterward. The seek afterward ends, and war breaks out. Suddenly, a red-horsed rider appears with a powerful sword. His arrival causes conflict and blood. This is no ordinary conflict. It signals a time of turmoil that tears our community apart. The Red Horseman symbolizes more than distant battles or fleeting moments in history. It shows our inner battles, national conflicts, and family and community divisions. All forms of conflict leave soul-piercing wounds that may take a lifetime to heal. The world's ongoing violence fulfills this prophecy. Our stories depict nations at odds, ideologies fighting, and power struggles. Conflict runs throughout human history, from ancient empire battlefields to modern cyber warfare. However, war's true devastation lies in the deep rifts it creates in trust, the hatred it sows, and the way it breaks our human bonds. Consider war v bonds, stories. In times of great distress, families must leave their homes with what they can carry. Children in refugee camps are surrounded by fear and uncertainty. Brave warriors return to their hearths with haunting visions of the past. The innocent souls caught in the turmoil became bystanders in a tragic tale. These are vivid, heartfelt, and deeply human experiences, not just ideas or distant misfortunes. Each bullet, bomb, and life lost sends waves of impact that may affect many in ways we cannot understand. However, the understanding extends beyond battlegrounds. It lives in our quiet moments, in heated debates that turn into fervent cries, in long-held resentments we clutch tightly, and in our refusal to hear perspective shifters. These personal battles may go unnoticed, but their devastation is great. They weaken relationships, dividing us and leaving us feeling alone. The Red Horseman rides through our homes, workplaces, and communities, as well as nations. Even in despair, a call for unity resonates. Faith illuminates our path through the turbulent times. Love, forgiveness, and compassion comfort us when the world seems to be falling apart. Virtues are stronger than swords, not just ideals. Love can erase hatred. Even deep wounds can be healed by forgiveness. Compassion forms a web of connection, reminding us that we are all connected by our humanity. Humanity has over humanity throughout history. Consider leaders who chose conversation over conflict, brave souls who fought for justice, and ordinary people who showed remarkable compassion in difficult times. These stories remind us that peace is always possible, despite conflict. It starts with a humble choice, a moment to set aside conflict, reach out with kindness, and speak peace rather than vengeance. The video asks us to consider our role in this story. Are we perpetuating conflict or seeking peace? Should we let anger and resentment take over or seek understanding and healing? Every deed, no matter how small, can spark conflict or foster harmony. Consider this profound question. What kind of world do we want? What legacy should we leave our descendants? Few experiences with descendants. The conflict. It forces us to face our deepest fears, darkest desires, and greatest weaknesses. It also shows our remarkable resilience, bravery, and hope. Beauty can emerge in times of enormous turmoil. Anguish inspires creativity. Sadness is expressed in music. Resilience stories inspire others to dream of a better future. Let us remember our strength future. The Crimson Horseman rides through our lives. We choose our responses to conflict in life. Should we follow fear or love? Should we maintain our divisions or work toward unity? The answers to these questions shape our lives and the world. We will overcome hatred with love and heal division with compassion. Together, we can turn the Red Horseman's sword into peace's olive branch. The third seal breaks, revealing a branch. This touching image depicts the devastation of famine, which affects nutrition, resources, aspirations, and justice. Rather than just a lack of food, famine is a disorder of the bounty that should be available to all. The writer's hand holds scales, symbolizing the delicate balance of survival and the hardships faced when scarcity reigns. Every bite, drop of water, and ounce of energy is weighed against necessity. Human weaknesses are revealed in this moment, highlighting the fragility of structures we often overlook. In modern times, famine is overlooked and hidden. Nature destroys once thriving fields, leaving desolation and communities struggling to survive. Years pass, and fertile lands become barren deserts under the relentless sun. Winds and waters wash away our labor, fierce storms destroy our structures, and flames devour everything in their path. Wise observers warn that these events are part of a larger tapestry that is linked to climate change and environmental degradation. As the Earth struggles, human actions deepen the turmoil. Economic turmoil hinders the flow of goods, raising prices and making essential items unaffordable for many. Strife and turmoil harm the land. Farmers lose their homes, markets collapse, and aid is cut off, leaving many in despair. Famine is more than hunger. A despairing rooter steals honor, aspirations, and tomorrow. Imagine waking up with the uncertainty of your next meal. Imagine your kids' energy waning and their joyful giggles fading as hunger looms. Imagine waiting in line for what seems like an eternity to find empty shelves. Although these scenarios seem far-fetched, they are a reality for many. Families survive on scant reality in refugee camps, hoping for food, peace, and a chance to rebuild their lives. The shadow of food insecurity lurks in urban centers, where rich and poor live together. Many work today, but the struggle to eat remains heavy. Children arrive at school hungry, making it challenging to focus. The video challenges us to face this focus with purposeful action, not hopelessness. Prayer is important, but so is watchfulness. Let us consider, how do we each contribute to this global challenge? Are we planting resolution or fostering our problems? Do we hoard our resources out of fear or generously give them away? A rider holding scales symbolizes the importance of justice and balance in our lives. Justice is vital. Unequal resource distribution and greed overshadowing compassion tip the scales toward disorder. A severe disorder had taken hold in a small African village, threatened to destroy the community's spirit. In a time of great trial, fields were barren, waters stopped flowing, and despair hung over the land. But then something amazing happened. Compassionate organizations produced drought-resistant seeds. Compassionate people shared their sustainable farming knowledge. In unity, neighbors dug irrigation channels by hand. Life began to re-emerge slowly and painfully. The fields grew, the children revived, and hope returned. This story is told everywhere hearts persevere and compassion triumphs over apathy. For every success story, there are many heartbreaking ones being told in silence. Whole communities are on the brink of despair, their cries for help lost in the chaos. How can we claim to be civil when we ignore suffering? Our hearts hold the answer, waiting for each soul to find it. Through understanding, compassion, and deeds, transformation grows. Provide aid to local food banks. Promote fair and sustainable initiatives. Use what you have and share generously to practice stewardship. Ask wisdom on the root causes of famine and hold leaders accountable for their inaction. The dark steed weaves a tapestry of quinaction. It gallops through Revelation's vivid scenes. Shall we answer its call or ignore it until the hour is dire? Shall we let fear scatter us like leaves in the wind or work together for a better tomorrow? The choice is ours. Let us choose carefully, with love and conviction. Even in famine, one can find abundance if they have the courage to recognize it and share it. Finally, the fourth seal breaks, revealing a pit horse. Death and Hades ride together. This seal symbolizes the pervasiveness of death and the fragility of human life. Not only does it end life physically, but it also breaks hope, security, and existence as we know it. The pale horse rides forth, casting a shadow across the land and bringing a wave of devastation that seems unbeatable. Despite this shadowy veil, there is room for deep reflection, unwavering strength, and profound change. The COVID-19 pandemic echoes the prophecy of the pale horse. No soul was spared as it swept across land like a wave. Hospitals were full of patients during a difficult time, and dedicated doctors and nurses worked tirelessly. Glass barriers or long distances separated families. Loved ones left, leaving unspoken goodbyes. Cities fell silent. Once bustling streets became hauntingly quiet, and economies teetered on the verge of collapse. Many people experienced a profound sense of unease that extended beyond mere illness, encompassing the numerous uncertainties of life. Would supplies be abundant? Is medicine sufficient? Is time enough? However, death can take many forms, and not enough. Dramatic as a global pandemic, some experience the end of life gradually through sorrow, isolation, or grief. As anxiety, depression, and hopelessness have become more common, many have struggled with them. Relationships suffer from unvoiced sorrow. Dreams fade like stars, and communities crumble as trust weakens. Though the flesh survives, the spirit may die. Hope appears even in the darkest moments. Faith anchors us to a higher purpose in these moments. It teaches us that life is about rich experiences, not just duration. We find meaning in life through love, service, and endurance. In quiet reflection, prayer gives us strength to express our fears and frustrations, bringing us peace. Despite challenges, the community often recovers. In times of solitude, neighbors help each other, strangers offer their hands, and humanity seeks to connect, reminding us that we are never truly alone. Consider the stories of those who were changed by death. A young woman with a terminal illness embarks on a meaningful journey. She journeys across the globe, dispersing happiness and positivity, leaving a lasting legacy. A man is unemployed during an economic downturn. He finds a passion for teaching in the ashes of his past. With passion, he mentors others through their struggles and illuminates their paths with wisdom and compassion. After tremendous loss, a family creates a beacon of hope. They build a foundation of love to help others through similar heartaches. These amazing acts of bravery and imagination show that the end is not the end. Life continues in unexpected ways. The pale horse reminds us that life is short. In a world obsessed with youth, productivity, and success, death is often overlooked or feared. How about accepting it as a guide? What wisdom would it impart? It may inspire us to enjoy every moment, value relationships over material things, and live authentically. Time passes swiftly, and the duration of our journey remains uncertain. When we can leave loving and meaningful legacies, why waste time on fleeting distractions? The pale horse races through our lives, making us distractions. Are we truly experiencing life, or are we merely existing? Should we cherish the ephemeral treasures of this world, or should we make investments in enduring things? We must decide whether to let grief consume us, or use it to grow stronger and wiser. The breaking of the fourth seal reveals both destruction and elation. It shows the fragility of human life and the strength of the soul. It shows our weaknesses, but also our kindness and empathy. Deception is lifted, revealing profound truths. Though death walks with us, so does hope. In unity, they demonstrate that every conclusion is a new beginning, and that dawn is always near in the deepest shadows. As you consider the pale horse and its rider, remember the shadows and choose your response. Will you fear or stand firm in faith? Will you lament what's gone or celebrate what's left? Will you let death shape your journey or use it to change? Within you are the answers waiting to be revealed. Let them lead you forward, not afraid, but determined. Even in doubt, there is belief. Faith can move mountains, friends. Finally, the fourth seal breaks, revealing a pale horse, friends, followed by Hades. This seal symbolizes the looming shadow of death and the fragility of human life. It profoundly disturbs us and compels us to acknowledge our fleeting existence. Death affects us deeply and unites us in our humanity. Every culture, faith, and person must face future certainty. This prophecy depicts death as a powerful force that destroys nations. In recent years, we've seen events that match this prophecy. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on nations. During a time of great need, dedicated healers tirelessly worked day and night in hospitals to save lives. Despite the struggle, many families mourned their loved ones. Lockdowns kept people in their homes, quieting entire cities. Streets that once bustled are now empty. Fear hung over everyone like a shadow. Many believed the world had been humbled by an unseen foe. The pale horse's burden goes beyond illness. Conflict, scarcity, and nature's fury bring disaster. Consider how fierce storms have ravaged beaches, where families once gathered in warmth and love. Imagine fierce forest fires that drove animals and people away. Imagine nighttime tremors that destroyed vibrant cities, turning them into shadows of their former glory. These events are part of a grand narrative with strands of turmoil and sorrow. Every event reminds us how fragile our lives are and how quickly everything we value can vanish. Hope appears even in the darkest valley. Faith is our steadfast and vanish. Storms. When science and government fail, hearts turn to prayer. They gather in quiet, whether in their homes or online, to connect to something greater. Death is just a passage in life's grand narrative. It promises eternal life and transcends worldly trials. Faith gives us the strength to persevere, the courage to face each dawn, and the resilience to rebuild. Consider those who overcame enormous sorrow and survived. A mother, Sufrabilde. She experienced the heartbreak of losing her beloved child to illness. She found a deep purpose in her grief, to comfort and understand others in their dark valley. A community was devastated by a fierce storm. Despite despair, they rose with unwavering spirit and purpose. They worked tirelessly to restore what was lost. With each nail and brick laid, they formed an unbreakable bond, creating a shelter that showed their resilience and strength. Together, their unwavering unity radiated a beacon of hope. A brave warrior, returning from battle, carries his past, but longs for peace. These remarkable souls show us that humanity can rise above despair, even in the darkest times. Their stories encourage us to keep going despite death's attempts to define us. The Pale Horse asks us to consider our lives. Are we chasing fleeting pleasures or building something lasting? Are we nurturing love and connection or isolating ourselves to succeed? Earthly riches fade when death approaches. Hidden treasures like kindness, compassion, faith, and our legacy are most important. After we die, these treasures echo through time. The Pale Horse weaves a tapestry of questions as it gallops through revelatime. Vivid scenes. After loss, how will you navigate? Will you give in to fear or stand tall with hope? Will you wallow in despair or rise up and change the world? Though death is inevitable, so is the chance to change the world. One can travel to honor those who have gone before, inspire those who are still walking, and illuminate a hopeful future. May the Pale Horse serve as a solemn reminder and urgent call to attention for the future. This solemn reminder is to cherish each fleeting moment, as our departure time is unknown. We extend a heartfelt invitation to live a purposeful life, concentrate on what truly matters, and nurture a spirit prepared for the journey ahead. The shadow of mortality reveals true existence. We are called to love, hope, and trust in the face of uncertainty. Perhaps on this journey, we begin to understand the profound meaning of these prophecies, not to instill fear, but to awaken us to life's beauty and urgency. Finally, the fourth seal breaks, revealing a pale horse. Death and Hades' wry urgency. This seal symbolizes the pervasiveness of death and the fragile thread that binds humanity to existence. The pandemic has shown us how quickly life can change. In a time of great turmoil, hospitals were full of the sick, loved ones were taken, and many were afraid. Even in the darkest valleys, hope shines. Faith strengthens us in times of trial, while hope reminds us that every ending is a new beginning. We find restoration and renewal in prayer and fellowship. Death, a constant in life, is often forgotten until it's near. The Pale Fellowship encompasses all borders, cultures, and paths. His presence forces us to ask fundamental questions we may ignore. What is our purpose? How do we face death? What happens after we die? These questions are important, but difficult. They make us think deeply about our lives and values. This reality is vividly depicted in the video. Imagine walking down a hospital corridor during the pandemic. In a difficult time, the healers work tirelessly, their faces hidden, but their weariness visible. Outside, families gather, their hearts yearning to reach loved ones through glass windows or phone screens. As the heart aches, tears fall, revealing the profound sorrow of those left behind, struggling to understand their sudden grief. Grace shines through the sorrow. A caring nurse holds the hand of a dying patient, comforting them as they leave this world. A kind neighbor feeds a lonely person, weaving a thread of companionship. These humble acts of goodwill illuminate the path in shadows, reminding us that humanity's light can never die. Why does death influence prophecy so much? Why is it one of the four horsemen? Reading deep. What is the connection between war, famine, and conquest? It may be because death equalizes all. Wealth, power, and status are stripped away to reveal our true selves. It makes us consider our choices, relationships, and beliefs. Some find this moment of truth heartbreaking. They see death as the end, a black abyss that consumes everything. However, it inspires change for some. It inspires them to explore spirituality and transcend the material world. Many brave souls have faced death with faith and steadfast resolve throughout history. Remember the brave souls who stuck to their beliefs despite the cost. Consider the humble souls who died for others, exemplifying true selflessness. These stories make us wonder, how would I face death? Hold on to my fears or fly past them? The Pale Horseman calls us to prepare, not from fear, but from wisdom. We give our hearts to a purpose that lasts beyond this life by accepting faith. Faith provides more than solace. It gives us a lens to view our journey. As we view life faithfully, our fleeting trials fade. We see challenges as opportunities to grow, losses as gentle reminders of life's transience, and hardships as tests of character. This perspective shifts our view of death. Instead of fearing it, we accept it as part of God's story. We trust that He guides our lives and that His divine purpose endures death. Faith alone is insufficient. Acts must accompany faith. The Pale Horseman travels the land, teaching wisdom that draws us in. Legacy is one of those lessons. What legacy will you leave after your journey? Will it be filled with broken bonds and unfulfilled dreams, or with love, service, and meaningful impact? Choose to accept. Each day is an opportunity to nurture our loved ones, bonds, and beliefs. A different story shows resilience. Death may take our loved ones, but it cannot extinguish beliefs. Pandemics destroy communities, but they rebuild with hope and resilience. Nations once at war discover the sacred path to harmony. Sadness brings new beginnings. We must possess the strength that sustains life. Let us rise with determination when the Pale Horseman casts his shadow. Encourage each other and lift each other when the burdens seem too heavy. The Pale Horseman serves as a final reminder and a call to awaken our spirits. He warns us that life is short and judgment is inevitable. He encourages us to evaluate our priorities, strengthen our faith, and persevere. He encourages us to hope with open hearts. May we find comfort in the belief that death is not the end. Love triumphs, and the divine rules our every heartbeat. Consider the Pale Horseman and his message, and ask yourself, how will you live today when your heartbeat is unknown? Will you waste time on fleeting shadows or nurture what matters? Will you fear the unknown or bravely venture in faith that the Lord is with you? The Pale Horseman leaves these questions as he rides. His arrival may frighten us, but it also illuminates our lives with truth, purpose, and belief. After opening the seals, the story goes beyond disasters to reveal their profound spiritual beliefs, effects on people. In times of turmoil, fear can quickly engulf hearts and communities. The chaos also brings a deep awakening, a gentle nudge within us that encourages reflection, inquiry, and the pursuit of a higher purpose. We are caught between despair and hope in this time of turmoil, beckoning us to find purpose in the chaos. After breaking the first seal, a deceptive peace emerged. During a period of immense promise, many people believed in wealth and safety, but when life's challenges arose, they found themselves unprepared. In this moment, a familiar story resurfaces. Leaders proclaim bravery, visions promise paradise, and innovation simplifies everything. As the story progresses, subtle cracks appear. In such times, bonds may weaken, communities may fray, and trust may crumble. This thought-provoking video poses the question: are we leading purposeful lives or merely navigating through a world filled with distractions? In times like these, our belief anchors us in truth and guides us toward what matters. We see the profound effects of division in our midst after the second seal unleashed war and strife matters, where nations fight for resources, cultures clash over their values, and families struggle with heartbreaking differences that can tear them apart. War tears into homes, schools, and workplaces, leaving wounds that may take a lifetime to heal. In this moment, profound change is possible. We are called to love in times of animosity. Despite separation, we must connect. The tapestry of belief teaches us that true unity is the beautiful embrace of our differences while holding fast to a common purpose. We will overcome fear with bravery, forgive anger, and find hope. The black horse of the third seal appears during a time of great trial, bringing famine that threatens hope. Hunger touches our emotions, minds, and spirits beyond the physical realm. We must confront our community's disparities in a world where many sleep with empty bellies and others waste food without a second thought. Natural disasters destroy once thriving fields, causing the earth to shake and the skies to cry. Economic storms hit communities, leaving many unemployed. Our climate becomes more uncertain as the seasons change, endangering the harmony of lands everywhere. These trials make us consider our lifestyle and values. Should we prioritize profit over people? Is convenience better than world care? The video urges us to be kind, share our blessings, and fight for justice. Thus, we relieve others' burdens and align ourselves with a noble purpose based on kindness and selflessness. Finally, the pale horse of death reminds us of our transience. In the midst of hardships, the COVID-19 selflessness showed how fragile life is. Hospitals filled with the weary loved ones died alone, and sorrow wove a tapestry that united us. Despite the darkness, tales of unwavering strength emerged. In times of need, friends helped friends, and even strangers helped. When clarity was unavailable, belief comforted hearts. Though death is inevitable, it need not define us. Instead, it can inspire us to live fully, cherish every moment, and leave a legacy of love and compassion. Despite their foreboding appearance, these seals awaken us to our state and our calling. They reveal compassion. They reveal the fear of losing what we value, failing, and feeling unimportant, and offer a way out. The journey begins with faith, not just a quiet conviction, but a powerful force that transforms lives. It calls us to strengthen our relationship with God, strengthen our bonds with each other, and spiritually prepare for the journey ahead. Breaking the seals is a powerful warning and invitation. It is a call to remain vigilant, seek the truth amidst lies, and stay ahead when faced with obstacles. This is a call to embrace hope, love, and bravely confront future mysteries. Those who answer this call will find meaning in trials, not escape them. Light illuminates our path, even in shadows. Faith remains strong, even when doubts arise. Even when the world seems shattered, restoration is possible. Consider your choices as you follow your path. Will you bring peace or war? Will you fearfully gather your possible help for the needy? Will you let despair take hold or draw strength from faith in times of loss? These questions shape your legacy. Let your actions carry more weight than your words. Let your faith lead you, and may your compassion transform the world. Our character is shaped by how we handle our storms, not the storms themselves. May you carry this truth with you on all your journeys. I feel awe and humility as I contemplate this video's themes. The four horsemen, conquest, war, famine, and death, are a warning. These ancient symbols remind us that humanity has endured turmoil and rebirth throughout history. The realization that these prophecies illuminate choice rather than foreboding resonates deeply. In an increasingly complex world, they call us to confront lies, unite against discord, and seek profound truths. This journey reveals a profound truth. We are invited to live with greater awareness, intentionality, and faith. The message of these signs speaks to all hearts and minds, whether viewed spiritually or as symbols of our world's trials. Let us recognize the fragility of peace, the cost of conflict, and the need for compassion. Famine and disease remind us of our interconnectedness. What affects one part of the world affects us all. Death, though inevitable, calls us to cherish life and pour our hearts into what matters. Yet comprehension is insufficient. This thought needs an answer. I encourage you to live these lessons. Have deep conversations about faith, overcoming adversity, and optimism. Challenge societal and personal beliefs that may have outlived their purpose. Explore your beliefs, whether they come from sacred texts, science, or philosophy, and consider how they help you through life. Above all, may this inspire unity. Help someone in need, speak out against hunger and injustice, or be a comforting presence. The question is not whether we are in the end times, but how we use our time wisely. Courage, love, and action should replace fear, division, and apathy. Unified, we can turn doubt into hope and disorder into unity.